Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk Junkies. As you can tell right now, weather has permitted a Talk Junkies podcast. Yes, here in Missouri, we got some snow. I think it was like 5 to 8 inches or something like that. So unfortunately, Johnny and Jesse were not able to make it this week. So in light of that, I didn't want to not put up a video. But at the same time, I don't think that I could go on a spiel for an hour unless I was extremely intoxicated. And then at that point, it would really not mean much. So, just going to talk here a little bit about what Talk Junkies is. And I don't know if I've ever done that. The goal here at Talk Junkies is kind of what I'm going to explain in this video. It all started, probably like 6 years ago. Jesse and I had started actually a podcast back in, probably 2013. It was called News Radio 816, and you can still find that on YouTube. But I think our goal is, I don't think, but I know what our goal is, and at least my goal here for Talk Junkies, and the reason that I created this channel was to spread truth. And having an outlet here on YouTube and being able to try and get the truth out there, I think, is very important in the times that we live in. We're so quick to believe one side of the story until we hear the second side of the story, and at that point, I think that it could be saturated. And I don't know if that makes sense, but you hear one story and you're like, oh shit, like that's really what happened, and I'm not okay with that. But then you find out that there's another side. And I really think that's what my goal is with Talk Junkies, is trying to explain what we can and the truth behind it. And ideally, I would like to have experts on each and every single week. Unfortunately, it is very tough to find that. I'm constantly on my phone, just on the internet, just sending people emails and just trying to get whoever I can on the show. So that's kind of the behind the scenes, and much thanks to people who come onto our show, like Mike Anderson and Jen and Alan recently last week, who came on the show, and Crow and Brian Forster. I mean, and I appreciate Sherrod. I just appreciate all those people who've came onto our show and have shed light on truthness, and what truth is. And that's our goal as Talk Junkies, is to continue to do that. I'm trying really hard to just find more guests to come onto the show that are experts in the field that we talk about. Last night, I was up for quite a while trying to find some people, and I may have found someone to talk about aliens. And this individual is an expert in UFOs, and he's also an expert in just UFOs in general, and UFO encounters and stuff like that. So I am working on getting more people onto the show to talk about other things than what we talk about normally. And that's another thing. It seems like we kind of revert back to things that we know so well. One being the education system and how to fix that. And I think that's the most important thing. And I think that if I could reach out and find someone to talk about the education system, I think that would be awesome, and we could shed some light on that. But I think that we all are in agreement that in the United States, the education system needs to be reformed. But that's our goal, man, and ladies and gentlemen. That's our goal here at Talk Junkies, is to find truth and get it out there. And some people may not like it. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to go down the conspiracy route. I'd really rather, reflect hard facts into our podcast as opposed to conspiracy. I am pretty big into conspiracy, but I don't want to push it on to people. I want them to find out in their own ways and in the right way. So that's just kind of where we're at with Talk Junkies, man. It's just finding truth in this world, and I know it's so hard to do that, and we all live our day-to-day lives, and it's such a grind, and we all have so much going on. So for anyone who watches these videos, I truly appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch Talk Junkies. I truly appreciate anyone who's came onto the show and given us their hard-earned time to give us an hour or more to come onto the show and just talk with us about what you know so well. So that's what Talk Junkies is, and I really do plan on furthering it, going as far as possible to get anyone and everyone on the show that had, I mean, you don't even have to be an expert. I mean, ideally, that's what we're looking for. But if we can just have a good conversation, and that's another big thing about what we are here at Talk Junkies is we don't have to agree, nor do we have to disagree. I mean, we can agree on some certain topics, but I think what is going to make us stand out here at Talk Junkies is the fact that we're going to ask those hard questions. We're not going to shy away from it. If we have a prominent guest on one day, I'm not going to shy away. Like, I'm going to ask the hard questions, and if they divert, they divert. That's on them. They're the ones who are live and on the show, and they're the ones who have to answer to that. But I don't want to get away from the hard facts and the hard questions. That's where I want to be, and that's what I want Talk Junkies to be. So in light of that, I know that you guys are typically used to an hour video, but this video, since weather permitting, it'll be Jesse and I on Sunday. Johnny's going to be out of town. He's going to the Chiefs-Bears game in Chicago. So it'll just be Jesse and I, but I am working really hard to get on some other guests, and so you guys can enjoy that and hear the truth of what these people have to say. And I think Crow put it best in the first podcast we did with him. If you don't believe what he says, then just find evidence to prove that he's not right, and I think that there are right or wrong ways to go about that, but he's right. I mean, if there's someone that you disagree with in life or on this podcast, reach out and search the internet and do your own due diligence, as opposed to just coming up with an idea in your head and saying, oh, no, that's wrong. Like, he's saying that, there's no way I believe that. There's just no way that he's right. Well, you have a computer in the palm of your hand. Just look up some evidence, look up some research, and see if that's correct or if it's not correct. I mean, and not only just search through YouTube, search through other outlets too. I mean, YouTube isn't the end all be all. There are a lot of great books out there. There are a lot of great researchers out there. I think that in today's world, a lot of things can get saturated due to the fact that everything's about money. We all are about money, and we're all doing anything and everything we can to get money. And I think that can lead people down the wrong path sometimes in what they think and how they feel. So I would say just research the people that come on our shows, and if they say something and you disagree with it, try and look it up and then put it in the comments below on how that wasn't right, So that's really all I got. Just a really short video tonight, and that's just what Talk Junkies is about, is just truth. And I appreciate YouTube for allowing us to have this platform, and they're getting hit hard. I don't get mad at YouTube for their new policies that they come in place with, especially the ones that are happening here shortly. They already happened December 10th, and January 1st it's full force, and I'm not mad at them. They're just a corporation. I mean, $1 billion corporation. Am I mad at that? I mean, that's a different conversation, but I'm not mad that the government's putting pressure on them to filter out certain information, and it is what it is. And I don't think at Talk Junkies we're going to be in any sort of trouble, because as of right now and throughout the podcast that we've had, we've done nothing that would validate us getting shut down. Are we commercially viable? I think we could be one day. I think that Talk Junkies is a great concept. I think it's a good podcast. And I think we really could be commercially viable to YouTube. And it would just be a shame if YouTube ever thought that we weren't commercially viable and then our channel got shut down. But at that point, there would be other outlets. We'd still do the podcast. We'd still find a way in other platforms to get our message out there. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching this video. It's a short little 10-minute video. I truly do appreciate it. To all our subscribers out there, and to each and every person that listens every single week, I greatly appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It's what keeps me going on this Talk Junkies. I was upset that we didn't get to do a podcast this week, but unfortunately, Mother Nature had other plans, and it's just not always going to work out the way we want it to. But in times like this, it just gives me an opportunity to tell our subscribers what Talk Junkies is about, which we've never done. And I hope that you like this message, and I hope that you like what we want to do. And that's really all I got. So hit that like button, hit that bell notification, hit the subscribe button. To all our junkies out there, stay fly and ring the bell.